When I started, it was in 2000, and there was no sportswear at all, and I just felt that everything had become so overtly feminine in a really traditional sense. That was one thing, and I also felt that it was so couture-y. There was just something missing for me. And then I also, because I was asking myself, where could I fit in to all this? So. One of the things I've always loved is sports clothes, so I thought it would be really interesting to see how you could just mix everything, not only in the sense that you mix, let's say, sports clothes with other clothes, but just mixing details of sports, because just mixing them as in making them easier to wear, because sports clothes above anything else are about easy. So I was also asking myself, how could I put the idea of sports clothes into fashiony clothes, or into evening clothes, for example, into day wear, whatever. I've always been interested in clothes. And I've always loved popular culture, and I've always loved music and film. It doesn't have to be alternative, you know. Anything that can touch you in a way is good. See, I've never made any difference either with music. For example, I've always loved ABBA. I can't make any differences between what's supposed to be lowbrow and highbrow. It's whatever touches you, touches you. Now this collection isn't so much for pop stars, I think, because it's in a way it's about banality. It's about everyday life, which I suppose a pop star is not interested in. At the same time, I think that there's things that could be really great for stars, you know, if they had that frame of mind. I mean, everything that's outside fashion, that's been designed for a reason, I always really like. The idea to take a trench coat and just put it into something almost old-fashioned Victorian, to take the sporty elements out of it and make it something else. The bustier, for example, you could just open it up there and then twist it over, and then wear it as a bustier. So the idea was to have something that's really big and sporty and easy to wear, and you could just turn it around to make it into something sexy. One thing I love about knits is that you start at zero. You don't have a fabric that you kind of have to use. With knits you have nothing. You really start at zero. So you do your fabric yourself in a way, your material, and then you use that to make clothes. So it's 2 steps. What I did is I took, let's say, the evening part of the collection, and I made it more sporty. And I took the kind of the day wear part, the sporty part, because knitwear is always supposed to be more sporty. And I put that into the evening wear, so it's just been moving around really, and that's what the collection has always been about. It's always about things that in the end don't go out of fashion, because that's the relationship I've always had with clothes. They almost take over your life because they're so important in a way, even though they're not important at all. What I do, I constantly ask myself why I do things, because I constantly have to understand why I'm doing things, because if I don't, then I wouldn't be able to go on.